Good morning, everyone. I'm Shadows Pub, and welcome to Pimp Your Post Thursday, taking place in the Steam at Ramble and streamed live on Rambling Radio on DLive. For those who are new to the show, you'll see a message I'm going to drop into the channel with instructions for an emoji you use to enter the queue. When I see the emoji, I will add you to the queue list and put another emoji by yours. If you want to see where you are in the queue, visit the DLive link. Be sure to mute the sound there if you are listening here. When your turn is called, you'll drop your link in the text chat and command voice to tell us about your post. If you're unable to use voice, then you must have text ready to copy-paste into the text channel when you drop your link. There we go. We got the formal opening done. Looks like we got some folks in here this morning. And Dream Steam, you're up first.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, so a few months ago, I fell in love with a little mini artist. Lime Poet has a 4-year-old son who she allows to help with her paintings. And one day, she walked away to get the phone, and I guess he did something called a dirty pour on her picture and made this. And I guess it wasn't supposed to look like this, but I thought it was beautiful. And so after that, I kind of became one of his biggest fans. And then he painted another one that was a dragon, and I just gushed all over him, and he's just the sweetest thing. And I became his little Auntie Dreamy because I wanted him to paint me something. And so now I've commissioned him, and he walks around to everybody talking about his Auntie Dreamy that he's never met, doesn't know what she looks like, just knows that I am his patron. And so I'm really excited. This week, he's taking it so seriously. This is a 4-year-old that he said he wants to know all about me, and he wants to do a mock-up. He doesn't want to just do a first thing. He wants to do a mock-up and get his mom's impressions, and then he's going to do the real deal. So this is just an initial little taste of the things that he can do. And I think he's asking what a firefly looks like. So I'm pretty sure he's going to try to do something for me that's a firefly. So I'm really excited to see what he comes up with. And yep, there's my firefly. And just really happy to support him. I am also really his mom is being very cautious. I want to do something big for him. I just want to send him some money or some paints or something to support him. But his mom is really cautious that she wants to make this about the art and not about, what he can get from it. He's too young for that. So if anybody has any fun ideas that I can run by her, something that I can do for him, of course, I'm going to post all about him and gush. But if anybody has any ideas, they can leave me a comment on that post and just say, hey, it'd be fun if you blankety blankety blank. Anyway, the end.
How old is this little entrepreneur?
He is 4 years old. 4 years old and 8 months. So he is little. I mean, when he did that, he was just about 4. So, and the dragon that you see in the picture, I mean, I know it's not, you can't see an actual dragon, but when I see the distinction between the colors, and he's not just smearing it all around into one big blob, you can see he has very distinct things that he wants on there, and color here and color there. So yeah, I think he's pretty amazing. I think he's going to be an awesome little artist.
Well, it sounds like he's going to be an entrepreneur with, I want to do a mock-up.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cute.
I've got to do the concept so that I'm sure that my patron will actually come across for me.
Yeah, so sweet. So sweet. I love his little, and I love that she keeps telling me he talks about Auntie Dreamy, and nobody knows who he's talking about.
I sent an article to Artemis this week. I'll maybe send the link to you about an 8-year-old who had decided she wanted to write a book, and she actually has done it with her backing of her father, giving her rewards at certain levels. If you do
That's
this
awesome.
much work, you get this response. I'll send you the article.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty cool.
That sounds awesome. I have some ideas going on in my head for some programs too. That would be nice to kind of not steal any ideas, but share some ideas.
Like, they weren't monetary rewards. It was like, you write up a character sketch and we'll help you do this. I'll type it into the computer or something like that.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. I love when people like encourage young kids to just have big dreams and go for them. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Is his mom open to, I mean, it's not a monetary reward, but, his own easel or his own paints or something like that? Is that too materialistic?
Yeah, I've asked that too. And she's kind of still like, swaying away from that. I was even thinking, what if I just send it? We don't say it's from me. I just help support we don't even have to say it's from me, I just want to do something for him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we'll keep talking. She's pretty open and she knows I want to help him. So
Books on art?
yeah, maybe. Good idea.
Possibilities. Thank you, Dream. Bluefin.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be back.
Whoops, wrong one. That's great.
That looked familiar. It was a great post. Somebody else had the idea too.
Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah, good morning all. So I just clicked on my open browser and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, copy and paste real quick. Oh yeah, apparently that's the wrong page. So, I recently did a couple of posts. I've been struggling with kind of looking at some of my photos in a different way. And I am, do not put the same post in for the third time. So I did this post and I'm asking people for some feedback on the different treatments that I did on the image. And I'm wondering if you could all take a look and give me some feedback. That would be real helpful.
Nothing like those old cars.
Yeah, it was nice. I try to choose between the color version or the black and white or the sepia tone, and I just thoughts on the different treatments and see what people's feelings were.
What effect are you going for?
Well, so originally I liked the sepia because I think it more fits with the feel of the car, but then I felt like it lost some of the details. So now I'm going back on that thought. Like maybe it shouldn't be about just the matching the era and the tone of the car. I'm losing too much of the detail on the car. Maybe I like the black and white, which I feel like I can get more detail in it.
Yeah, as far as capturing detail, I'm definitely seeing the most detail showing up in your black and white. As far as choosing sepia over black and white, I think that sepia is usually kind of connected to like periods of photography in the turn of the 20th century, 19th to 20th. So it gives it that really dated look, whereas that kind of black and white photography pushes it up more to, the 30s, 40s, 50s era. So if you're trying to date it as corresponding to, it being an old vehicle, then that could be something to consider. But as far as showing off that actual vehicle, I'm digging the black and white the most.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing you struggle with. What is it you're ultimately trying to show when you create the image? And yeah, if I was just going for a look, just going for the sepia tone, or I want to evoke the feeling of when the car first rode around, that'd be one reason to do the sepia. But I love all that detail that I don't see there, and I'm thinking, I really want to show off the car and its beauty and that fine detail and the fine lines. Then I go back and forth between, I like the era, no, I like the detail.
It's an interesting debate. You may end up doing both or all three.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking of is I can ultimately I can just print out all three versions in little note cards and see what people respond to when they physically see them in person. Because the image on your screen is always different. There's a different feel and a tenor and taste when you actually see it in person and hold the card in your hand. And
You know, if you wanted to play with the picture, I wonder what it would be like to take just the car out of the color one and put it into the sepia background.
yeah, there's a thought too. Similar to what Kitty Gnome was saying when she commented the other day, which is, selective color, but not necessarily just selective color. Select that element and keep that and get as much detail as you can, but make the rest of it a feel and a tone.
Yeah. Endless possibilities. Thank you, Blue. Oscurity.
And thank you for hosting us.
There he is. Okay, Os, come on and tell us about this. Oh, he's doing text. My second participation in this exciting Discord and good for today. I prepare a painting with a very dark message. Enjoy all. Enjoy all the... anybody got a shot at that word for me? Priociso? Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe process?
That could be. Process.
Yeah, that's processo, process.
Okay. Yeah, he's written it in Spanish and English. All right. Thank you, Oscurity. And next up is Anutu. Go ahead and put your link in the text. And then come on voice Anutu.
Oh, I was just discussing the other artwork with my friend who's sitting next to me, so...
Okay.
Oh, did it work out?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Yep, we see it.
So tell us about this.
Hi to everybody. So it's actually the first time ever on Discord, and I hope you all can understand me because I'm not English native. So this is about very valuable gem. I'm doing upcycling art, and I always try to really feel into the findings I use and really try to feel what story they might hide. And this was easy because in this piece I worked out. The middle piece is from a curtain holder from my grandmother, and I just I found it some time ago in the basement in an old suitcase I just put there, and I had no idea that it was there. So I was just browsing through some stuff I wanted to donate to Pause for Cause here in Malta, which is a charity store. They care for animals and wanted to donate it, and then I had this curtain holder thing in my hand, and I was very emotional because this is connected to a very interesting story I remember from my childhood. I was always hiding behind grandma's curtains, and this middle piece with these nice engravings, it's all brass and it's with the snake-like fixture. It was connected to the holder of the curtains, and I was always hiding behind when I was somehow angry, somehow really wanted to be seen by nobody and wanted to be alone and just for me. And I thought I have to embrace it in a way, and it holds so much of me, and all these memories came up from my childhood. And and it this is with me. Sometimes I have findings I put on my table for a year or so to find something else that fits to it, to create something new, and it's in the end it's looks like, or it feels like sometimes like fallen out of time, because I'm using like Art Deco stuff, I'm using whatever I find. Sometimes I find something laying on the street and use it. So I don't care for the value. I just care for how pieces that usually don't fit together in a way just create something new that is fallen out of time. So this is my idea always behind when I do something. So it's very much about emotions and stories containing in findings and antique stuff. So originally nothing really belonged together. So the necklace part is from the 70s, you know, the middle part is from my grandmother, probably from the 1940s or so. So yeah, this is it. I hope you like it.
It's beautiful. In fact, you and Artemis North are going to get along just great. You need to come into the Creatives Coffee
Yes,
Hour.
I already introduced them.
Good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm living in Malta, and that helps with English language. Originally, I'm from Germany, but I left Germany due to several conditions. You know, yeah, it was quite hard for me as a free thinker and public speaking person, and always speaking. You know, freedom is most important for me, and freedom of speech and just talking freely. And I cannot shut my mouth when it comes to injustice. And that's probably maybe sometimes today a problem for somebody.
Well, that's interesting. You're the second person I've met from Malta. The other person was one of my parish priests, and he couldn't keep his mouth shut on injustice either. Must be something in the water there.
Yeah, that's true.
Poetry by Jeremy is also there.
Well, there we go. Thank you, Nutu, and your name has now changed to Blue, like a bunch of other people in here, as a PYPT attendee.
Wow.
So your post now can go in a channel that is entitled PYPT attendee. You can drop them in there, and hopefully people go in and take a look at them and give them some support.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And it also means that we encourage you to drop in there and check out other people's posts and show them some love too.
Very true.
Of course. I mean, this is what I like most about, my new community. Yeah, I found it. You know, I was really lost in the world, with all this mainstream social media, and I was really bored, and I really felt like, being alone in this world. That really changed with Steemit. So I love to support, I love to create, and I love to give love to others and to inspire.
All right. Thank you. And well done. And Julius, I don't know that I've met Julius before, but we're about to. And she's presenting. Is this in bilingual? Okay, it's bilingual. Good day is lost in Steemit, and while I'm studying graphic design and starting working on my paintings, I use Adobe Photoshop, and while I leave this message to our Mama the Ocean. All right. That's a beautiful picture there. You want to go to the actual post because Steemit coughed out on her, and that's a beautiful picture there.
And she has a GIF or GIF, depending on what side of the platform you fall on, and it shows sort of the process where it's a black and white and through the color process and how she got there. It's very cool.
Oh yeah, there it is. It is. Very nice. You also now have your PYPT attendee. Thank you. And Desmond, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. This is a post more like an advertisement post, just telling you guys and inviting you, all of you, to our creation party, which will be which I will be hosting on our server, which is Yesisa Discord server, this Friday, 7 p.m. UTC. It's more like this PYPT. So I would encourage everyone to also join us there and let's have fun.
So to be like a PY,
Come,
P,
it's more like this post, Pimp Your Post Thursday.
except it'll be Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
So 7 p.m. UTC would be 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Thank you, Desmond.
Thank you.
Penderis would like to know if that's cash bar or open.
Yeah, they'll be able to on the platform. Yeah, the community will both post too.
And
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is a new exchanger for all Africans. We use that platform to exchange our Steam to fiat currency, and also the community too has a token that we created on BitShares Open Ledger platform here. So when you come there and you present your post, we reward top posts with some of the Yansisa tokens too.
very nice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Rhonda, you're up. There we go.
Yeah, but for a minute I didn't think we were getting a thumbnail. I've not been really active with the Tark account lately, just simply because just busy, and we are overrun with dogs. I've got dogs running out my ears. I don't even know how I'm talking right now. I guess they're just all tired from barking all night and all morning, and they're sleeping now during PYPT, which works out pretty good. But hopefully next month we'll be able to start moving some of these back out to New England. But what I'm going to do is I started this post just telling about us, kind of giving an update, and then I'm going to start posting. I'm going to pick one dog a day, and I'm going to post every single dog that we have in rescue, even the dogs who are here in sanctuary. I'm going to just kind of give them a online identity, and everybody can kind of follow them and monitor them. I did this on Facebook years ago when we first started, and it was the reception was so bad here. You know, our local audience, they would come on there and fuss and complain, and so I haven't even even on our website, you don't find a list of our dogs or any of the dogs that are here because of that. Well, Steam is different. It's a totally different world. And even though people from the local area can read it, they're not able to come on and troll. So I think I'm going to try it again. And I think I'm going to start, introducing all of our critters and, showing them to everyone. So anyway, this post is going to kick that off. We are having a hard time right now with Steam being down so low. We're not quite paying the bills. It's rough. When Steam was at $3, we could survive. With Steam at $1 or below, we're dying. So, just anything that we can do to try to generate interest and get some, more support from the community, we're going to try to do that.
All right, that should be interesting, seeing the write-ups on the various ones that you've got there.
We have some characters here, that's for sure.
You starting off with Barkley?
I actually am. Yes, I am actually. Yes, his post is coming up today.
Oh, so we'll see it this evening.
Yep.
Good stuff. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Shadows.
Steam Graven, we haven't seen you in a while.
Hello.
Hello.
So the biggest pinball tournament in the world happened about 2 weeks ago. I had a press pass because of all the blogging I did on Steemit, So I got in for free as far as registration goes, and I used it to get hundreds of photographs and have a series of 4 articles planned. This is the first of those articles. This one walks you from pretty much the moment I enter the building until the tournament starts. The next one is going to be all the qualifying in the tournament. The third one will be about the finals. And the fourth one, I'm going to feature an artist who does pinball art that was present at the show. And he has an amazing selection of pinball art that I'm going to showcase with some photographs. If you're wondering why some of these photographs are blurry, it's because rather than get hundreds of people to agree to be in pictures that I took, I decided just to try to blur people's faces. I am not a photographer. I consider myself more of a writer, so I apologize. I'm not very good at doing it, but I had a blast at the event, and I want to share it with everybody, so maybe next year they can come to the event as well.
Skip wants to know if any pinball wizards showed up.
Yeah, all the top players in the world come to this thing. The tournament itself is it has a $100,000 prize pool, and 840 people competed, and that's only because they capped it at 840 people. They probably could have shown. They probably could have had 1,300 people in the tournament, but they don't have enough pinball machines to accommodate 1,300 people.
Very good.
Yeah, it's $15,000 to the winner of the top division. Nobody chose machines. I'll explain how the system works, but it's there's 280 tournament machines, and people get placed on banks of 4, and they play in groups of 4, and each round takes about 2.5 hours, and then we all wait for the next round to start and repeat over and over and over and over.
So how long did the tournament take to play?
So it's the qualifying portion of the tournament took 23 hours, I believe. It took over 2 days. So we get there at like 9:30, and we don't leave until close to 11, and then come back the next day at 9:30 and don't leave till close to 11. And then if you made it, which this is the first year I failed to make it, but I still had a great time. If you made it, you come back at 9:30 again the next day and probably play till 6 or 7 o'clock.
So
it's okay.
You were distracted by being a reporter, and you didn't qualify this year?
No, it's hard to qualify. It's very hard to qualify.
You could have just rolled with that,
I'm truly happy just to play. It's so much fun. Like, there's so many people from all over the world that I get to meet and spend 2.5 hours talking to, and then I go meet 3 other people and spend 2.5 hours talking to them. And I don't think I played with anybody I knew until the very, very last round. So I met what would it have been? 27 new people in the first 9 rounds.
Wow. That's a lot. All right. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you for having me. Oh, and this is the account that I will be posting them on. It's not on Steam McRaven. It's on Pinball-Players.
Ah, okay.
Thank you.
Right, I'd forgotten you had a second account. And Dream Steam, you're back up. Is she still with us? There she is.
Yep, I am. This is one of our Welcome Wagon Recruits. He's actually an alumni now. And Penderis did that amazing graphic design. He's probably so mad that I'm saying that right now. But this story, I just fell in love with one of the characters. And it was so, so good. And it was over so quickly. And I'm begging him to write more. But this one is free for, I think, maybe 3 more days. It says free for 5, but I think it was 2 days ago that he posted it. And so I only have one request. If you take this book for free, would you support him by re-steaming it or leaving him a great comment or mentioning it to somebody else? We just want to give him some love and shine the spotlight on him. He's just a really great artist. Writer, sorry. And, yeah, so also I have a contest for 10 Steam Basic Income shares for anybody who can draw one of the characters in there. And I can post that later, I guess. But if you're interested, you could DM me. And, he's great. He is so, so great. I love his stories. Steam Basic Income shares are, when you give one Steam to Steam Basic Income, and then they give you a share, which is a portion of their, basically a share of what they hold of Steam, and they give you a vote every single day. But when you sign up for it, you also sponsor somebody else. So it's kind of this really neat, like, give and take and love and be loved kind of thing. And the more shares that you get, the more that your vote is worth every single day. So I think I'm up to like maybe 11 cents for a vote, which is a pretty significant vote when you're looking at where Steam is right now. It's a really, really cool program. But anyway, yeah, that's Rhett, his book. We love it. We love him. So give him some love. The end.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. There is a giveaway running in the giveaway channel that people need to click on the emoji on. Thank you, Dreams Team.
I need to go enter that. You're welcome.
And Skip, you're up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a post that was inspired by the last PYPT session I was at. It's about the Newfie firing squad. It's a story about my sons and the trip that we went on. That's basically about all there is to it.
Yeah, actually, even though we use that picture and call it the Newfie Firing Squad, the musical ride is phenomenal to watch. It's a lot more than just the circle and the lances.
I've never attended it, but I hear it's really awesome.
Yeah, it is. I've watched videos of it. I've never actually attended myself.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you, Skip.
You're welcome.
And Devil, you're up. Also known as Core
So I
Value.
think maybe, was it last Pimp Your Post Tuesday or Thursday or something, I shared the one that I did on zombies, kind of tying them into a historical perspective and how they've evolved along with different things going on in society. And I continued it this week talking about my favorite myth, which is the myth of Medusa. My favorite myth, but also there's a lot of problems with it. So that's kind of what I ended up talking about and tying it, as you can see, into today's #MeToo movement, which actually ended up leading me to write a second post, which I'm going to link.
Isn't one of
I know it's a difficult topic for everyone to talk about, but I feel that, it's one of those ones we need to. So I wrote the second post just so that when people are talking about it, we tend to get under each other's skin when we debate serious topics, and a lot of the reasons that we do is because we get emotional and then we start making bad arguments and getting personal. So I kind of made a cheat sheet of some, logical fallacies that if you're going to be really for anything you debate that can apply to, but I used examples from the movement. So those two posts kind of go together. And then I guess since everyone is talking about Steam Basic Income shares, I'm still running my weekly cartoon contest, and this week it's 9 Steam Basic Income shares that'll do you divvied up for the winners.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, debates can get interesting. When they're done respectfully, they can be informative. Otherwise, they become polarizing. And something I wanted to comment on Dream's post from Rat about the book. If you do go and leave a review, do not comment that you know him from anywhere else. Otherwise, they may delete the review. Okay, Bookoons, you are up.
Good afternoon from Nigeria.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, you want to just drop a link in the channel. There we go. Now tell us about it.
Well, I was on a show on the Discord server, and it was a contest anyway, and we all had to talk about time. So I just wrote this post after the show to ask people what would they do if they could halt or overtake time. If you could change time, if you could go back in the past, what would you change? Would you be able to text? Would you be able to spend more time with people before they passed away? And if you could go into the future, what would you do? Would you increase your account balance? What are the things you would do? It's just me talking about the things I would like to do. I like to change lives. Right now, I don't have the funds to do that, so I'll continue to work towards it. But if I could go into the future, these are the things I would achieve right now. That is just a brief summary of Time is Dying.
So, what is this Statch, S-T-A-C-H Discord server?
Stack is a Steam Accelerator Hub. It's a place somewhere in Nigeria that provides free network for Steamians to meet in case you want to work and you do not have
You got cut off there.
network on Lite. So it is also on this all over. You can join in and be friends there.
Okay. Thank you, Bookoons. And you have also received your PYPT attendee role. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, Resinol Vibes, you are next.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. That's my post. It's actually a question asked on Musicking. The question is, what keeps you motivated to post on Estimate? And what keeps me motivated to post on Estimate? I just try to answer that. If you are passionate about writing and want to share your idea and thought, you can start a blog. To start a blog, you have to buy domain and hosting. But if you use Estimate, all you have to do is to create an account and you're good to go. You can publish your article over there. on Estimate, you don't face any restriction. You enjoy the total freedom, and no one is there to tell you what you can do, what you cannot do. Another thing that motivates me that everything changing from centralized to decentralized system. If you want to get into cryptocurrency, you have to buy cryptocurrency or you have to mine that. But if you write quality content on Estimate, you'll be rewarded for that. You'll be rewarded as SPD or Steam. So that's a great thing. And there are many communities on Estimate. I love the vibes of the community. They help and support others. That's another good thing that motivates me to post on Estimate every day. And the other thing that there are many contests on Estimate. It's fun to participate in different contests. Whether you win or not, you can learn something if you participate in any contest. That's what keeps me motivated to write or post every day on Estimate. Thank you.
And those are the types of posts we need right now to kind of counteract some of the people that are getting so down on the platform. I haven't used Musing.io. That's like Quora, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
How do you like it?
I like that. Recently, I'm using that, and just there are different questions. You can ask any question over there, and you can answer that questions. People asking different questions. What you can answer, what you know better, you can answer that. And that's a great platform. I think I like Steam. I like Musing.
Let's have a look at it. Thank you, Ruslan.
You're welcome.
Rhonda, you're back.
Well, I have a very interesting post to make now.
I thought your last one was interesting.
This one's interesting in a different way. Who here knows that we have a phenomenal minimalist writer in our midst? Did you guys know that Shadows can really write some fiction? She can spin this stuff out. She recently won the prompt for the Buddy Up server, the group that they have there. The prompt was love. And if you have not read it, and it looks like a lot of people have read it, if you have not read her submission for that prompt, you need to, for Drop in the Ocean, you need to go read it because she really knocked it out of the park. We do want to start featuring, look at Pendare spitting mushy for you. We do want to start featuring some of our authors from the Writer's Block who are, spinning out some good stuff. But we started here with Shadows Pub because she never promotes herself. She never tells anybody what she does. Overly modest, very quiet. Got to make sure that we get her stuff out there too, because this was a fantastic little piece of fiction.
So you got me matching my not gray hair, right?
Bring your Kleenex, I agree.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is this is minimalism, minimalist, and I talk a little bit about minimalism in the post. It's very spare writing, and for someone to be able to take so few words and to conjure up so much impact and so much emotion and just so much, punch with a scene, that's pretty incredible. So we're happy that she's writing.
I love Shadow Spud. I like Spuds too, but not usually shadowed ones. So I guess it pays off when you give 1 and 2 word answers, eh?
Yeah.
Thank you, Rhonda. And Bluefin, you're up.
Oh, awesome. I suppose I should,
Hey, Raven King.
I almost dropped a invite to the ramble instead. I'm not doing good with my copy and paste today. So some of you know that I have a new kitten, and this kitten was trying to be murderous and run underneath my feet on the stairs and cost me a day and a half in bed with ice. But I have a little bit to report. All three cats seem to have made it for a day where they relaxed and hung out with each other and didn't kill each other. That's the update post where each of them gets a little feature picture and an update on how they did not kill each other for one full day. So I thought I'd just let everybody know that I survived and made it through at night on the stairs with the cats.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, that's Teddy. He in the preview, he's the king of the roost. He's the older one at 15. Then there's one that's 2.5, and then the kitten who is alive only because I choose not to kill him.
Tiki reminds me of one that my niece had named Angel. Coloring is almost exact.
Yeah, we've always had Siamese or something in the Siamese family. Siamese or Burmese or Blue Points or Seal Points or Tonkinese. And Tiki has definitely got those points there. You can see it, and you can hear it in all their voices. They're definitely Siamese.
Oh, earmuffs
And
needed on occasion?
It's not quiet, and it's neat that we've always had this tradition of everybody gets a name that begins with a T.
So, Dreamsteam, why is Teddy the best? Because he half killed Blue?
No, Teddy didn't almost kill. The little kitty did.
Oh, right.
The brand new kitty almost killed him. But every time I'm talking with Blue about our welcome wagon stuff in our meetings, Teddy always comes to say hi to me. Every time. It's pretty funny.
It's a hi to you and a get off my keyboard for Blue.
No, this one
Exactly.
actually Teddy will step over the keys and over the touchpad. But he does come up when I'm talking. He hears me talking and he doesn't see anyone else. And he will headbutt me and let loud yelp or a meow go. But he never steps on the keys. The other two...
And it's a very distinct meow.
Yeah.
Doesn't step on the keys. I love him already.
I mean, the kitten will stomp on the keyboard, sleep on the keyboard, stand between the monitor and my laptop, or stand on top of my head and hang down in front. I mean, the kitten has no shame.
Yep. My youngest one likes the power button.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Blue. General Gnome.
Good morning.
Morning. Better known as Snuck.
Yeah. Last night before I went to bed, I tried this program app out, and I thought it turned out pretty good. There's still a lot more information I want to find out about what they're trying to do. If you look at the post, there's a Discord server down there. But the app that they use to make the podcast is ridiculously easy to use. And then it gets distributed all over the place. So it's definitely worth something to look into. I'm not exactly sure. Again, there's still a lot of questions that came up. I did this at 3 a.m. And then a bunch of questions came into my head. So, but again, it's definitely worth looking at the app, and it's definitely worth talking to the person that's running it to find out more about what he's actually trying to do, because it's really easy to use, ridiculously easy to use.
just a quick scan of the post. It looks as though what they're trying to do is get Steamians to participate in promoting Steam.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a good project.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, I did my little bit, and again, I mean, I downloaded the app and had it running in 2 minutes, which for me is, no, it is not my account. No, there's a guy named
Kiliju or something like that.
Kaliju is the one that's running it.
Kaliju.
Yeah. He's the one that's running it. And again, there is a Discord server. There's not many people in there, so if you go in there, you definitely get an answer in that. And I know Deranged Vision, it says on there that he's looking for a co-host. So what his is about, I'm not really sure. Again, I went in that Discord server a couple of nights ago and asked a few questions, and then got some answers last night and thought, well, I got to go outside and have a cigarette anyway. So pretty much I made a podcast while I was sitting outside having a cigarette before bed. So it's that easy to use. So if you're at all, technologically challenged, this would be a very easy app to use.
Well, sounds like they need to put a tag on there called Snook Approved.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how easy it was, because I thought, I mean, I did it with the intention of if I run into any problems, I'll just stop. And yeah. And then you post it on the site, and then he actually made the post for that blog site, that Steemit account, and put it in there. So when I woke up just a little bit ago, I saw that it was there. So again, I have a lot more questions for it. Sorry, I'm not really filled with a ton of information on it, but I was really impressed with it.
Raven King, just put the emoji into the channel. Either of the emojis. And then I'll add you to the list. Thank you, Snook.
You're welcome.
And Yidneth, you're up.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good, because I'm with the phone with the headphones. I just came in home and collapsed in bed. It's been the whole day in appointments, in waiting rooms, and I was so worried. So here is my post. Okay, dropping the link. Well, it starts with one of my own drawings, illustrations for a well-known fairy tale, Red Riding Hood, but with a different approach. If you realize they both have a wild gaze, and the post covers about the myths and origins of this very known fairy tale. You know that I like fantasy and I like fairy tales, and sometimes I kind of want to analyze the story behind the fairy tale. But the post goes on into kind of a rant or kind of a dissertation about why we keep on demonizing wolves and why keep on demonizing wild animals if we as humans have take and make everything for profit in our earth, which belongs to all living things. So the post has like different aspects. It has like my own illustrations that I made for Lupus in Fabula, which is a magazine, and then it covers the fairy tale. Then it has a photo shoot in which I reenacted Red Riding Hood, and then I go on with a little bit more ecological message, because actually I painted in my illustrations an Iberian wolf, and the Iberian wolf is a subspecies of wolf that only exists in my country, in Spain, and in Portugal. And in Portugal it's protected because it's endangered. But here in Spain they keep on allowing some hunting every year, even, you know, if the myth making of wolves, you know, killing villagers is just like long gone since the Middle Ages. So in the painting I painted, instead of the common wolf, the Iberian wolf, which has these white markings on the face. But it's in general about demonizing wild animals. Like they're considered just like a molestation. Like if a population of a few thousand boars in a forest grow, suddenly we think, oh my God, there's so many, and we forget about how massively we have taken everything, the habitat, the ecosystems, the planet, for ourselves. So I don't know, if you like the drawing, if you like the fairy tale, if you want to make your own approach or join on my rant about humanity being selfish, you're welcome to drop your feedback there. Thank you.
All right. So, are you doing like a series of the myths behind the fairy tales?
Well, in Steamit, I have like a different series. I have the series of Blooming series that covers different colors and flowers and colors and meanings. And then I have Behind the Myths. And at the end of the post, you can actually just like catch back other posts that are on similar themes. So yes, I'm going to cover. I'm finishing about Beauty and the Beast and other fairy tales as well. I mean, my main occupation is music and illustration, but I like fantasy and fairy tales and reenact them. So I'm trying just like from time to time, just like to get an approach to them and how they came to be, because I believe in the morals. Somehow, just like in the learning things that how we learn to be brave, how we learn to be fair. But some things are just like, you know, they get old-fashioned. Just we get over the Middle Ages some time ago. And actually, Riding Hood was reading in the was not reading, was spoken in the 10th century, which is a long time ago, where maybe wolves were, but I doubt they were the monsters that we have portrayed it to be. I think the connotations of the tales are always different, and it represents all the things anyway. So I don't want to take more time. I'm here relaxed, collapsed in bed, and I'm going to enjoy a little while with your company. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Well done. And Zipporah, you're up. Or Zipper Gnome.
Yeah, I've realized this is poor gnome. Uh-oh. Oops. Still that. Just a moment.
That's loud. To answer Snook's question, I haven't heard from Miss Nomer this morning to find out whether the baby has arrived yet or not. Apparently she's still over there, so must be something going on.
Well, that's kind of a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of you guys may recognize this girl. I've shared a couple of the photos that are in here way back 6 months ago. But this week or last week's portrait contest theme was backlighting, and I couldn't resist sharing more of this series of my friend Ildiko at Burning Man. This is actually at sunrise, and she's dancing in this incredibly beautiful costume that was made by another friend of ours named Ka. And I've been watching these women dance in these costumes for 10 years. So if you want to go see something that's quite otherworldly, have a look. It's just some photos for you.
These photos are beautiful.
Thank you, Shadows.
Thank you, Zipporah.
Thank you.
Rhonda, you're back.
Well, this is a post about what's going on in the writer's block and what we're doing and some news that we have. about contests and whatnot. We have actually, the writers' workouts have become such a big thing that we're doing them twice a week. We've actually kind of scheduled them. They're every Tuesday and Saturday evening at 8 p.m. EST. And we've had some interest, enough interest that possibly we will schedule one for like a morning time. Because some of the people on the other side of the world who are like almost opposite us on the time zone, if we meet it's like they're 3 or 4 a.m. So, we may have to do that, but we talk a little bit about the workshops, and we talk about the contests that we have. Here's a reminder for everybody who is going to enter the first chapter contest. We've had some entries. We've had some really good entries. I have an idea that a couple more that we're going to get. It's going really well. We also have the art prompt contest that's coming. I think the deadline on that's this week. We're also going to be introducing a new contest. It's going to be a 100-word contest. It's another Jana thing. Jana's done really well with her 50-word contest, and she and I use short fiction in similar ways. It's a tremendous tool to really polish your writing, and it's hard to tell a story in 50 words. It's hard to tell a story in 100 words. But if you succeed, then you've really kind of upped your game a little bit. So if you can do that, then you're really ready to go on and write a longer work. It's hard to take a manuscript or even a long short story, 5,000-7,000 words long, short story, and if there's so many mechanical issues in that story, you just can't go through and edit them all out. So we have our people writing the shorter stuff now according to prompts, and it's going really well. It's really taken off, and there's some stuff spinning off of that we'll announce later. But anyway, this 100-word contest, we're going to talk about it a little more next week after the deadline on the first chapter contest. So it's a really good way to, if you're not used to writing fiction, it's a really good way to introduce yourself to writing fiction. And if you have been writing fiction for a while, it's a great way to kind of test your mettle and see, just see how you stack up with the shorter stuff. It's not easy. So anyway, there's the post, and we hope to see some of you in the block.
Thank you, Rhonda. And Dreamy Steam, you're up.
Okay, so this is the contest that I was talking about with Rhett, with his book. So this is the character, Dapper, that I fell in love with. And I'm dying. Oh, stop with the font, pen. I'm dying to see somebody actually make what he looks like, because nobody has drawn him or illustrated him, and he's just an unusual character. He doesn't have any eyes. He has voids for eyes because he's an alien. But Penn and I are dying to see what this person looks like, because Penn wants to be him and I want to marry him. So anyway, I wrote this post last week, but I'm extending it because I didn't get, it's so creepy, but I'm trying to find a way that he doesn't look creepy. I want to see him look like cool and not creepy. Ah, Yidneth, I would love it if you entered this contest. You're such an amazing artist. If anybody wants to do it, the winnings is 10 SBI, no first, second, or third prize, just 10 SBI for one person. So, I didn't get to see that one by Devil. But I hope he's not scary. I just hope he's really cool. Anyway, if you'd like to join the contest, just put your, well, if you're the only one in there, Damien, you're getting 10 SBI shares. So at this point, anybody who, you have to read the stories. If you don't read the stories, then you won't get what he looks like. But he's explained very well in the stories, and he's just such a cool character. I love him. So, well, Devil, you have to read it. Okay, that's it from me. Hope you enjoy it. I really want to see your pictures. The end.
Now, did I hear this correctly? Penn wants to be Dapper, and you want to marry Dapper.
Yes.
So it can be solved by you and Penn getting together.
No.
Well, I like to write stories, and actually, Gidnet is a book. And I have this character which is called the Ancient, which is a male character, and he has freezing flames in his eyes, and it's quite creepy as well. And I always just like mess with my boyfriend, just say, oh, this is my second husband. Just like, oh, when I go to sleep, this is who I dream of. And he's just like, oh, I have to get just like these weird lenses and a wig one day. That's just to satisfy. You're just like your own fiction crush. I would give a read. Snook also wrote me for a little doodle, but I'm trying to fend with the time I have because I've not been feeling well lately. So I have all good intentions, but then I feel at that deadlines. But definitely at least reading them.
Who's Bird?
Yes, they're a quick read. So Bluefin, behave yourself. You're always trying to ruin the characters and the people that I love, so leave them alone. This character, he's very dark. He's kind of an assassin, but he has compassion. I'll just tell you, he finds a little girl that is kidnapped, and he makes it his mission to like bring her back to her world, and you just get to see how complex the character is, and it's just really well written. I think he did a great job. So yes, compassionate assassin. It's weird. It's kind of like if anybody saw the movie The Professional, where he was an assassin that kind of just took this little girl under his wing. It's very similar to that character, but he's I don't know. I think he's way more handsome. Okay, so Devil, then you will love this story. Just read it, and you will really like this guy. And then you have to draw for us. Okay, the end for real this time.
So Bluefin's got him as a short, bald, fat, gay, compassionate assassin. Apparently that's not that guy. Desmond 41, are you here? Desmond?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Skip, are you here?
Yeah.
You both have one SBI coming your way.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Sounds great.
And
actually, I wanted to know how I will receive the SBI because last week I think I won one, but actually I didn't know how I received it.
It gets sent to the Steam Basic Income account, and you should see once he's processed it, and it can take him 2 or 3 days to do that, then you should see votes start to show up on your account from SBI.
Okay.
Snook, you're up.
So this is another one of my posts. I did a ramble on DLive yesterday, and then in the post, well, as I was rambling on, I was mentioning a whole bunch of different things that I've been doing over the last month, because it's been that long since I did one of these. And so in the post are all the different people and posts that I talked about. So really it's kind of a ramble.
Curation.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So those are in there also. There's also a hilarious video in there of Artemis North with face rigs. She turns into each character and tells jokes and stories, and it's just hilarious. So And that's my newest post. Just been really busy doing a lot of videos and editing and doing the Panther optional. So I haven't actually been able to do a lot of my normal posts, which is kind of what I go through in there. But yeah, so there's a lot of really good reads in there, a lot of things that I think over the last, well, they're all within payout, I'm pretty sure. And it goes into the writer's block about the workshops and stuff like that also is in there, and the free write group and all kinds of stuff.
Yes, you've been busy. No two ways about that.
Yeah, very, actually.
Skip, that was a detail we didn't need, but thanks for telling us.
Good to know. Don't get on film right now.
Thank you, Snook.
You're welcome.
Safi, you're up.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. And there's the link.
Okay, so I made a little Steemit meetup with my dog. Everybody has had like Steemit meetup, and I was a little bummed that I couldn't go to Atlanta. So I figured that, well, I did have a Steemit friend, and Bobby used to be on Steemit a lot since I shared him. So I thought that a Steemit meetup with him could be a good idea. So in this post, I did a little picnic with my dog and share it with you. And it was a lot of fun, and he was actually having a lot of fun too. So I just wanted to share it with you guys.
So have you got him writing on Steam yet?
What was that?
Is he writing on Steam? Your dog?
We want to know if Bobby is posting. Is Bobby posting on Steam it?
No, he doesn't have an account. It's me. I used to post about it.
He could join Murphy Dog.
Yeah, he could. Maybe he should have his own account. I don't know. I share him a lot.
Those are yummy looking blueberries and strawberries.
Yeah,
yes,
it's
they
a
are.
favorite.
Oh, he's eating them.
Yeah,
oh.
I think he's getting the Caesar. He's a beautiful dog.
He really is. He's a joy. He really is.
Yep.
He's very cute. He looks like his little long neck.
I get blueberries? Really? Yeah, and strawberry. Yeah, blueberry is his favorites. So we have a bush full of them, but he never picks them himself. He tells me that I should go there and pick them, and then he eats them. So
it's really cute.
Yeah, these animals, they do get us well trained.
I just ate a bunch of blueberries. Yum, yum.
Thank you, Safi. Well done, as always. And Zipporah, you're up.
Okie dokie.
More pictures. So for Deranged, one of his subjects was animals of the world. And I have so many pictures of monkeys, but this was a sweet little moment that I decided to, I couldn't pick just one, so I shared this little vignette of this adorable baby monkey and its mama. These are gray langur monkeys, and they're just these really peaceful monkeys. And as I say in the post, unlike the brown, really kind of mischievous butthead monkeys that are all over the place that will actually steal your purse if they think you have food in it. These guys were just really chill, and I spent quite a bit of time just hanging out with this pair. And you'll see in one of them, the little baby monkey was quite intrigued by me too, and I thought I'd share those sweet little sweets with you.
And they are sweet, too.
Thank you.
Beauty in nature.
Normalizing breastfeeding worldwide.
Okay, so Raven King, you are up. So if you put your... Oh, okay, he's going to do by text. And do I see a link there? Okay, let me just scroll back here. There we go. And then I got to go back to his text. Hey everyone, starting today, I'm doing global tarot reading. I am an artist, magician, musician from Luxembourg, 27 years old. Tarot is not all I do. I produce my own music, post my own original writings, more on spiritual and esoteric topics, and I've also started a music promotion and curation page to help new musicians gain more exposure. The tarot readings, though, are the main focus, and I decided to start these to deepen my relationship with the tarot and my different decks further. I've had one mind act for many years, but this project is to familiarize myself with some of my other decks, which I haven't used much. I think that other one was One Mind main deck for many years. But this project is to familiarize myself with some of my other decks, which I haven't used much. Okay, we were just talking about tarot and astrology the other day. It seems to be a growing niche on the platform. Thank you, Raven King, and you have your PYPT attendee role now. And Linny Plant, you're up. And moving on down. Where are you, Linny? There we are.
Just give me 2 seconds, okay?
Okay.
Bringing sexy back.
I just read that
Hello,
title.
so can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello? Okay, look, I had notes, but I can't seem to get that working, so I'll just go off the top of my head. So I'm not pimping my own stuff. I'm pimping a funny contest post by Rakasan84. It's the Bringing Sexy Back Veteran Contest. I'm pimping it because it's funny. I had a real big laugh out of that. So it's for all veterans on the blockchain who have got an old uniform that they can wear and they can pull off sexy, funny, badass. I thought it was a really lighthearted contest, and also it showcases the fun of the veteran community. I do have a soft spot for veterans, and it really started about, I guess, 12 months ago when I started researching my novel. So I'm very big on veterans having more visibility, but also myself having a lot of laughs too. So this contest totally works for me. And also I'm pimping it because I think it was yesterday, I might have had like a major Steam It Discord tantrum where I just threw a tantrum basically, and I offloaded all my SVDs to Jack Miller, who I love. And Jack, being the good guy Jack, he just redonated all that money to Rakazan for his contests. So I had a quick look and I was in a really shitty mood, and I just cracked up. It was so funny. It really snapped me out of my bad mood. So I'm hoping that people will have a moment to drop in and to upvotes, leave a comment, re-steam, etc. But also to go back later down the track and really support the guys and, the women that might post their photos on there. So I really feel that veterans can do with more support and love from us. So, yes, that's it.
So, GrowPro has suggested that Jack Miller needs to suit up and take some selfies.
Jack never does anything. I didn't even bother asking him this time. He won't. He will so not post a photo. But I think guilty parties might actually, so that's going to be a good one.
Well, that'll be a $64,000 question. If guilty, he'll do it. He won't come on voice.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, but he's very good about this. I think he might do this. So I'm excited by that one.
We're all going to be watching.
Yeah, but I'm really encouraging, I guess, people to go there and cheer for the entries, but especially the ladies. I think that, you know, you can go there and just cheer on and say some nice things to the guys. They'll be great.
Yes, Bluefin, we're all going to be listening.
Now, but there's women that are vets too, right? Yes.
Oh yes, definitely.
Katie Neely,
definitely.
Lena DR, Stacy. Those are three just off the top of my head.
Yeah. So they can do it too, right? Correct?
Yeah, it's for both genders. So if you know any veterans, definitely spread the word. But it's for both men and women, for sure. So yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be a lot of entries. So I'm hoping that this contest will be a good, fun one for bringing that visibility for that community.
So I have to ask, is this picture Raka-san?
I think it is.
He didn't state though.
Well, I don't know. I guess I can ask again.
Core value says it is. And GoPro is threatening, Jack, just so you're aware of this, and we may have to say balls on this first, he's threatening to DM you 300 times until you do a picture.
I'll hassle him offline as well. I just gave up on him because I think I've hassled him for so many things and he's always said no. I just can't imagine him dressing up for us, for our laughs.
Time will tell. GoPro says we have over 100 pages of Discord DMs. He'll double it. Oh my. Thank you, Lenny Plant.
Thank you. See you.
Damien, you're up.
Hey, Shadows. How's it going?
All right.
Yeah, I got back in time from the escape room.
You did. You escaped.
We did, and we did it in a record time as well. So I put that down to the fact that I wanted to get back for PYPT.
Determination.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll just drop one again. And yeah, back to what Rhonda was talking about earlier. This is my entry for this week's 50-word story comp, which is run by Jaina. So yeah, not much of a presentation really, because saying anything about it is going to kind of give it away. So it's only 50 words. Go and have a read, and I hope you enjoy it.
Well, just read the first word.
I'll.
There you go.
There we are. So you've already heard. You've already heard 2% of the story.
Oh boy. Thank you, Damien.
It's great. It's wonderful, Damien. I already read it. Awesome.
How did you read that
thank
so
you.
fast?
It's only 50
I don't know.
words.
It's 4 lines.
They don't call me Zippy for nothing.
yeah, Zippy Gnome.
Zippy Gnome.
And Snook, you're up.
Well, let's hope I have the link already copied. Nope, that's not the right link. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
It could get interesting to see what she would have copied
Yeah,
otherwise.
exactly. Yeah, that's why I double checked. I know this was on here, I think last week. Maybe not. But
No, it
if
was
you
done
haven't read this, right, exactly. This is a great, funny story about what happened last Thursday in PYPT. And it does go on to explain the gnome issue that's invaded PYPT. And Kitty Girl did a hilarious job of writing it and getting everybody that was in there. And this is a story that went on literally all day. last Thursday. The gnome issue. Well, yeah, as a gnome. So if you haven't read it, I think it kind of stands on its own. If you want to know more about it, she has at the bottom all the links that'll lead up to this story.
And we have another country heard from.
Someone welcome.
Yep. The new planet is was little. My best friend's name was Lena. I've often thought of and missed her. Ah. Yes, that was a beautifully written story. That's got to be one of your jewels, kitty girl. Thank you, Snook. And Zipporah, you're up.
That's my daughter's name, Linnea.
Is it?
Yeah, my oldest.
Yeah, I was saying that was my best friend when I was little. Like 9 years old or something. It's not a name you hear often.
No, it isn't.
So another one. I actually managed to get a few posts out in a week. Whoa, it's a first time in a long time. So I shared another one of my songs. As I said, this one's been kind of tickling me from the edges lately, just because I've had so much upheaval and so much going on in my world that this song feels relevant of late, and seems kind of similar to the last one I shared, in just that it has something to do with global unrest, and the upheaval in the world around me is reflected in the upheaval that I feel internally. So there's my little song about feeling like a hummingbird caught in a hurricane. Yeah.
That's an interesting analogy.
Well, I think any one of us can imagine that would be pretty difficult, right?
I would definitely be blown off course, I would expect.
And upside down and topsy-turvy and which way is up and all that, yes.
I think so. All right.
It's a poignant analogy, yes.
It is.
Thank you.
Well chosen. Thank you, Zipporah. Isa Known says that it's how she feels every day.
Yeah, I have a feeling Isaria and I are similarly sensitive.
And Raven King, you are up again. And it's my newest track, which I made last night. It's a dark, down-tempo beat with watery atmospheric guitar carrying it along. Used machine, micro, and live guitar, recorded as loops into the computer to make the whole thing. Most of my music is in a similar style. Trip-hop instrumentals, which are meant as spells of truth to invigorate and bring out the mystical dimensions of our inner world. I use a bunch analog synth like the Korg Volca series and monologue and also live instruments that I record myself into the computer for sounds that I use in my songs. We have another musician. Has he been introduced to any of the other musical communities? Well, Zipporah and Azaria might be able to give you some pointers on that.
It might be. If it's electronically produced, that might be difficult to play live, but there is the open mic community. If you don't know about it,
yeah, that would probably his best possibility right there.
And what you actually can do is like record the different instruments or the different parts in layers and just videotape yourself recording those layers and then piece them together, and that actually would count as an open mic entry. You just need to be seen performing, so we know that it's original for that week's contest.
I also wanted to say that The Needle, it's a program that actually was on SMA server which is a Steamic Music Alliance server, but it's moving to MSP Waves tomorrow on. From Friday on, it's going to be on Fridays. What was on SMA server, it's going to happen on MSP, and it's actually a gathering of musicians. Usually the musicians present their tracks and they explain how they produce them and so on. And Isaria, thanks for the tune link. It's just like I'm actually intending to do it myself. It's just like I've been intending to do that all the time, and I hear all good things about it.
Isaria, why don't you tell people about Tune? I've seen you mention that a few times.
It's a relatively new token site, so the way that I really suck at crypto stuff, but the way the blocks are produced or whatever are just by the plays of the music. So right now it's just a token. But soon they're hoping basically that every note, like every time you get a play, you get what's called a note. And the hope is that every note will be worth 4 cents, which is pretty cool. So basically you just get the notes by people playing your tracks, and you can upload all your music, you can create playlists, you can also send notes to other people that are tips. Darren Claxton has created an actual Tune Discord, so I'll find that and I'll post that in the link.
I have it. I'll send it.
All right, cool.
I think be aware, though, somebody was, I don't remember who it was. I think maybe it was Graylin. Somebody looked at it immediately and said, just so you're aware, they are taking, you do pay some sort of fee that comes out, I'm sure, in what you earn, or probably they take some percentage or something. So just to look into that.
Oh, like a beneficiary.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
So there is a community here, Raven King. You just need to tap into it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I wish there was more of a community for electronic musicians. I keep needing about extra 7 hours a day, and I would work on that. But, like, I would like, how they have the open mic? It would be cool if we had something like that for electronic musicians, some kind of big contest. But
seems like you,
right now,
you and like Soundwaves, Photon, and a couple others, Divine maybe, would be good to get together and create something like that.
I mean, right now I just do the music curation every Saturday.
You've got a Sounds of Steam coming up this weekend, don't you?
Yeah, Saturday is Sounds of Steam. So, Raven, if you're able to perform your stuff live somehow, you can join that. Let me know if you want to do that. I'll send you the link. Any other musicians in here, the Sounds of Steam on MSP Waves, we have that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think you have enough projects on your plate. I think you should start a whole new one too. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I know, right?
Anyone that's been holding back from getting into the queue is currently empty. So if anyone's got something to present, now's a good time. I kind of thought there might be a few holding back. Go ahead, Katrina.
All right, give me just a second. I didn't expect to be immediate.
Hello, Katrina, Ariel.
Hello, my dear. Who was that talking?
Zippy.
I thought so. I wasn't there to see your name light up. Hello, my dear. Hope everybody's doing great this morning. I'm rolling in late as usual. So this is a post about a writing contest that I'm going to be entering. That it's basically done through Twitter. It's called Pitch Wars. It's a pretty major writing contest, and the cool thing about it is you're competing for a mentor who is a published professional author who takes like a month or more to work with your book and make it really, really spectacular. And then there's an agent round at the end. Hi, Safisara. And yeah, so it's a contest that I've entered the last 3 years. I haven't got a mentor yet, but maybe this year I will. I hope. But this is the first post I've really written to try to. Oh, cool, Damien. That's very cool. This is the first post I've written to that's sort of targeted at my Twitter friends to be like, hey, there's this Steam thing, check it out. Yeah, so I'm loving it.
All right, and apparently I've seen the discussion going on in the channels the last couple of days, and there's some other people that have been part of it.
Yes, Damien, the thing for this weekend. I don't know what that thing is this weekend.
Just come on, voice and tell her, Damien.
It's you get the chance to get your first page, your synopsis, and or your cover letter reviewed by one of the mentors before you actually do the pitch.
Oh yes, that was through the Pitch Wars website.
I can't quite remember. It's I mean, if you go to the Twitter, you'll find it. Yeah, they're basically a whole load of the mentors are offering this chance to do kind of like a pre entry thing, so you can actually get your stuff reviewed before you do the proper entry.
Yes, I did see that critique. I did enter it. I totally didn't realize it was ending this weekend, but that's good. I'm in. Yeah, and I think that you can win one of the mentors' books as well in that giveaway.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. What genre are you entering, Damien?
It's young adult near future dystopian.
Right on. Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to.
Thank you. I hope you get a mentor. It's for me, even if I don't.
Desmond, you've got a hot mic there. You might need to check that. All right. Thank you, Katrina. And the kitty girl, you're up.
Okay, my post is about a caterpillar that turns into a moth. It's commonly found in the southeastern United States, although it is native to North America. I know that we've got it here, but I'm not really sure how widespread it is in North America. But sometime back in the 40s, they actually spread to parts of Europe and Central Asia. And they feed on the leaves of hardwood trees, and they weave their little web around the ends of the trees, and it creates a kind of a cloudy-looking web on the end. And if you look inside, you can see these little tiny worm-like things that are actually caterpillars. They're not worms. Worms live in the ground, and they don't have legs. They just wiggle about, and they live their entire lives as worms. But caterpillars have got legs, so they can crawl or walk, as well as wiggle around, and they usually live in trees. But the moth that comes from these little fall webworms are really pretty. They're white in color and really lovely. And even though that they do eat the leaves of the trees, and they weave these webs that are not very pretty, on the ends of some of the tree branches, they don't really cause any damage to the trees. Usually, although there have been reports that entire trees have been defoliated, but I've never seen any problems in this area. But yeah, it's a really curious thing to just drive down the road or walk down the road and just see these webs appear. They're really strange looking, but if you are squeamish about crawly things, don't play the video that's in there because you will see them wiggling about. But that is the fall webworm.
They're very wiggly.
Did you say you had seen them your way, Shadows?
Yes. Quite often, if the branch or the part of the tree that they're in isn't removed and taken away, the whole tree ends up going.
Oh, interesting. They must have a slightly different effect than they do down here, because the trees down here, I've never seen one completely defoliated. In fact, even the branches that they come on, I don't even see that much damage. Maybe they eat more in a colder climate or something. I don't know.
It could be. Thank you, Kitty Girl.
And Zipporah says, yes, they are very wiggly. So
very wiggly.
General Gnome, you're up. Also known as Snook. Come here, Mouthy.
So, for anybody that just wants a laugh, me and Artemis North at night had started doing this first world problems. And really, it's just the two of us in face rig, cracking jokes and having fun and laughing. So if you can't sleep at night and you see us pop up, it's actually on my feed. The notice will pop up. And yes, I mean, it just kind of starts in one area and then just digresses to just laughter through the whole thing. So it's been a lot of fun doing it. I have to go back and get some outtakes for people that can't get D-Live. The Kitty Girl, I have you in my head all the time in the back. I just have been not having time to do the editing that I want. But it's usually, well, we're thinking that my internet does like an engine thing where it reboots around midnight. So it's actually going to end up being on pretty late if we run into the same thing one more time, because 3 times and you're out. So it's usually on around 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is about what time we get to it by the time her husband goes to bed, mine goes to bed, and everything else. But it is definitely, if you need a laugh, just turn it on and do housework, and yeah.
Yes, those are interesting tags. Funny, not funny, and grrr.
Well, because I couldn't, for the first time ever, I hit go live, and twice my OBS went red, and it disconnected, and then you have to re-enter all the information again into DLive. That is probably my number one pet peeve. And there's not like a pause button. There's, if you stop this, if you have a problem with OBS, you stop the stream, it makes a new post again, which just drives me nuts because I don't like filling up my feed with, please don't vote on this. So yeah. So that was the last, that show really happened by the grace of God, because I was ready. Even Artemis, she's like, I was waiting for your computer to come flying through my window in Canada, and I said it almost did.
Well, I must admit, it does create Gina breadcrumbs. Going down the Gina feed, and there's Snook has gone live. Click on it, grr. Snook has gone live. Click on it, grr.
Yeah.
Third time is the charm.
Yeah. So it's really frustrating that, and then by the time, we started, the first time I hit live, we already had 3 people watching. But by the time you post 3 times, you've lost the people that would have, they're not expecting it to work anymore. So we usually have like at least 20 people watching, and we ended up with 3 to 5 the whole time for this show. And the other ones we've done, like I said, it's been at least 20 to 25 people. So that's frustrating unto itself too, when you're, when you're doing something. So yeah, that's my one complaint with, they don't have like a pause it. Yeah, it was dropping frames, and mine never drops frames. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's, what does Engine say happens to his? That they reboot something or something like that. That he loses his internet connection, or it drops out.
Yeah, sometimes around midnight to 2 a.m. is when a lot of internet service providers push new updates to boxes and things like that.
Yeah, because I've never run it. I mean, we've run into some problems, but never like I did that night. Yeah. But yeah, they need it. They need some kind of a, so that you don't have to do a darn post every time you hit go live. If there's problems, that's the only thing I have to say. But if you want to laugh and you're sitting around feeling, blue, sad, whatever, put it on in the background. We cover it. It is definitely, there is some swearing in there. There is talking about adult things. So you don't really want to listen to it with your kids around. If you have small children, I would not recommend it. But unless they're babies and they really won't understand. But if your kids actually understand English, I would not recommend putting it on in the background.
But if you feel like a hummingbird in a hurricane, you need some laughs, go listen to Snook.
Put it on.
Put it on.
Put it on.
But no pants. Don't put pants on.
You don't need pants.
Kitty Girl suggests that Artemis and Snook are dangerously hilarious.
I agree. I second that.
Artemis just literally makes me laugh just at a drop of a hat. So
late night humor on the blockchain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed at what she comes up with, and what I sit there sometimes and just like, I just start laughing, and that's all I have, because she's just so funny. So I consider it a privilege to be able to do this with her, and I'm just her little sidekick because she's just so funny.
Thank you, Snook.
You're very welcome.
Zipporah, you're up.
Okay, so this isn't really pimping something, but this just came up while I'm sitting here, and I happen to have GinaBot notifying me of when they post on their blog. So that thing we've all been hearing about for the whole time I've been on Steam.
What thing's that?
Hard Fork 20 Velocity is launching September 25th at 11 a.m. Eastern. Actually happening. I mean, I've been hearing about this for, I think, literally the whole time I've been. Yeah, an actual date. I thought I would just share that.
Well, they've covered themselves because it's dependent on the approval of the supermajority of the witnesses.
Right. But there's actually a date now. It's just been this, like, when? Hard Fork 20. When? Someday in the future. So, interesting.
Yeah, there's a target there now.
Does that mean that it's SMTs, or is that separate?
Velocity, from what I understand, and anyone on here correct me if you want to, but as I understand, the velocity is about how easy it is to onboard people and create new accounts. Isn't that correct?
That's part of it. It's kind of setting the groundwork for the hive mind and the SMTs to follow.
Right.
There will be some changes on resources. There will be some changes when you put a post out now, if you vote on your own post within the, well, actually anybody does, you vote on your own post within the first half hour, and in decreasing amount, it goes back, and the curation rewards go to you. So like if you post and then you immediately vote on your own post, the curation rewards will come directly to you instead of it, being shared as much with the other authors. That amount decreases during the first 30 minutes. After the change, if you vote within the first 15 minutes, those rewards won't come to you. They'll go back into the reward pool. So it's an incentive not to vote until after the first 15 minutes.
Wow.
Well, there's some breaking news. You heard it here on PYPT. Thank you, Zipporah.
Yeah, it seems like it affects all of us, so.
It does.
Good thing to know, and to start to prepare ourselves for the changes, because, anytime changes come, everyone's like, oh, it's borked! Help! I'm dying! Steemit's gonna fail! So, just so we can prepare ourselves and batten down the hatches, kids. They're gonna fork us.
The world is ending.
The world is ending.
I leave. I quit.
I will be forked.
And you too. You're up again. You're taking another stab at it. Good stuff. Okay. Tell us about this.
Yeah, that was a long time ago when I was, I started my artwork. I did interior design for a long time, and I started my artwork when my father developed cancer, and I needed something to distract me, to get into something different, to dive into my own world. And I was starting just for myself, that was never meant to publish anything. I gave just my art to my friends, and that it was. So, and then I put some pictures, or a friend of mine did put some pictures on Facebook that time. So I was contacted by the German producer of Tony Ward. Tony Ward is a photographer, an American photographer, and actually he worked a lot for Penthouse, I think, and he got very big, and I had no idea before. So she contacted me and said, yeah, we like something of your art for shooting, and it's maybe for Vogue, it's maybe for whatever. I said, yeah, nice joke. I really did not believe in that. And, but, I contacted her, she visited me, and we ended up in a full production, with models and all that kind of stuff. And, actually my artwork ended up in some museums and in some glossy magazines. And, then I had this, hustling, buzzling, people wanted to show my things, to work with me. And I went under the curtain again to connect with my story I just talked about. So I went behind Grandma's curtain and I said, no, I don't want it. I don't like that. I don't like to be featured that way, to be pushed that way into industrial ideas. Because, what I do is I do everything with love, and I don't, I really don't care for making big money with it. That was never me. So, but I just want to share I have more photographs of it, and I'm not quite sure if, anybody's interested in that. But the photographs he did with my artwork, that was quite cool. And I think it was, great work by him. And we ended up that he donated the whole production to me and said, wow, I love it, and so on. And it was just too much for me, maybe. But I just, I posted 2 weeks ago, I posted something about this, and I have more photographs of it. And I think the quality is quite nice, having in mind that he did work for Penthouse and more of those glossy magazines. But some photographs I really liked.
And with good cause. It's been pointed out in the channel there that this post is 15 days old, so don't upvote it, but definitely leave a comment. Thank you, Anutu.
Thank you. So I had no idea, old posts, but I had no idea.
Oh, the payout period is 7 days. So it just lets people know that not to upvote it so that they don't wear down their voting power.
Yeah, because you can actually go in and click the upvote button on an old post like that, and it looks like you've upvoted, but it doesn't actually count. So you've wasted that vote, and your voting power goes down because of it, but it doesn't count.
Okay. So I learned something. You see, I'm so new.
There's nothing wrong with sharing an older post. Just comment that it's an older post and just comments.
Yes, and comments can be made at any time and are always appreciated.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Anusio. Damien, you're up.
Hey, Shadows. So I'm going to pimp somebody else's post. This is from Bex. Let me just drop the link. So this is the color challenge, and it's Tuesday Orange, and I think it's an absolutely fantastic shot. And I've actually made this comment in the post itself. What I really like it is that if I get this right, the stamens and the stigma, is that right? Somebody who knows more about plants will have to tell me. The yellow and the red actually balance out into orange as well. But I love the detail again on this. I shared one last week of the butterfly, and again the detail was just completely amazing. So if you can pop along and show it some love.
You did have the terminology right. The stamen is composed of the long filament with the anther on the end.
Right. You can tell it's been a while since my high school biology class, but I kind of remembered that, I think.
Very nice. Thank you, Damien.
Thank you, Shadows.
And Princess of the Gnomes, otherwise known as Katrina.
Right, I had muted myself. Is this mic sounding better?
I can hear you.
So, for those of you who don't know, there is a Steamfest Dreaming contest that seems to be... I'm not sure who exactly is sponsoring it. Richard Krill has his hands in it. iGrowed, Richard Krill, and Dynamic GT are judging it. And basically, they have a Steamfest 3 ticket for somebody and possibly travel funds. So if you're dreaming of going to Steamfest and you don't have the funds to get there, definitely enter. I entered, but I'm not sure if I'm brave enough to go. It's a long way to Poland for this mama to be away from her kids. But I love the idea of going and being with people and meeting so many of the different people who will be there from all over the world. I'm going to Atlanta in less than a week, so that'll be my big meetup coming up. But Steamfest would be pretty amazing if it actually somehow the stars aligned.
So jealous about Atlanta. Will you arise to the challenge?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to make that decision if they picked me. I might just say, please give it to somebody else, but I don't know. I might go. I used to be really adventurous and brave and on my own, and then I became a mom and everything changed, and I'm still adventurous and brave in different ways, but to be that far away from my kids that would be a big step for me.
Yeah, it would. All right. Thank you, Katrina. Okay. So, unless somebody else has something that they want to present, we're at the bottom of the list. Ian?
I'm sorry, I'm out.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I don't have anything. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You've been listening to Shadows Pub host, Pimp Your Post Thursday, morning edition from the Steam at Ramble. Until next time, it's all about community. Yes, goodbye, Wilma.
Bye, Wilma.